Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about model management. In model management we will see what is model, what is package, how to create model, how to create a package, how to update a model, how to delete it. So let's have a deep dive session on model management. Let's see it in the system. So, a model is a design time concept, a group of elements such as metadata in source file. It includes all your customizations. For example, if you have to develop one solution for payroll, then you need to create one model and do all your customizations in that model. So all your objects will reside in this model, whatever we will create now. So in the Visual Studio, one see in the Dynamics 365 tab, click on the model management, click on the create model. I will create one model, name it as d365 training, publisher name is pp. You can write your company initials, layer as user. In the description write some meaningful description. Let's say I will write payroll solution. Click on the next. Now here you will get two options. One is create new package, another is select existing package. So for now we want to create all our new objects for our customization and do not want to refer objects of our earlier model. So we will select this create new package. In case, let's say after completion of this assignment of payroll solution, if we get another assignment of expense management, and in that assignment we want to use objects of this model which we are creating just now, then in that case, in that model we will select this select existing package, and from the drop down we will select the model which we are creating just now. This we will see later in our video. So we will see this option practically. For now, let us select create new object, as we want to create all our objects as new. Click next. Here you will see all the models available in base product. So if you want to use objects of base models, this is also known as reference packages. See, reference packages. So if you want to use these reference packages in your customization, then select it, otherwise proceed ahead. So but now we do not want any objects of base models, then we will skip it for now. We will proceed ahead. We will select next. Now our model is created. Now here options are ticked. So make this my default model for new projects. For now, whatever projects I will create, this is going to be my default model. I will finish it. So now I have to give the project name. I will name it d365 training. I will click OK. So what we did till now is we created one model in this project. If you go to the properties, in this project we have assigned this model. So whatever projects we will create, by default this is going to be our model. Now you are ready to do all your customization under this project. So first we have to create the model project, and now we are ready to use this project for our customization. Now to deploy this customization, once we complete this customization, whatever we are doing till now, and if we have to deploy this customization in another environment, we need to have package. So a model always belongs to a package. So a package is a deployment unit of one or more models, and its primary purpose is deployment from one environment to other. So to create a package, Dynamics 365 tab, same, in deploy, create deployment package. Now see, you select your model which we created just now. We'll select the location. I will create a desktop only. We have not used any reference package, so it's nothing. Now I'll click on create. So this package is just used for the deployment purpose. This will take around 1 minute. Yes, I think it's already done. See, now the message is there, package created. I will close the screen. So we have created the model named as D365 training. We have created one project, D365 basic training. Now under this project, let me show you how to create any object. Let us create one table. Right click, add new item. Under this data model, I can select table. Let me name it as pp underscore test table. Edit. Now this is the structure of table. Now to create fields, I have an option to drag from data types directly to this field. So if I drag and drop, my fields will be created. So let me expand this EDT. This is account category EDT. Let me drag and drop in field section. If I drop it here, it is not coming. Why? So this is what I tried to explain you till now. In this project, in this current model, what is the definition of this model? The definition of this model is that we are going to use all the objects from scratch. We are going to develop all the new objects. We are not going to use base objects, because in our models we have not selected any referenced packages. So now what to do? So even in between, if you want to use any existing objects from the base models, what to do? For this we have an option to use update model parameters. So what we can do is we can update our model parameters. So for doing this, you should know beforehand what is the model you want to add in your current model. So now for this EDT, let's say for this EDT, I want to drag and drop in my objects in my table. So see, this account category, this belong to ledger model. So what I have to do, I will go in this tab, Dynamics 365 model management. There is option update model parameters. I will select this. Now I will select this model name, my model, which I created just now. The name was D65 training. This, all the properties came here. Now I will select next. So what I have to select? See this EDT, the name is layer. So in this I have to select referenced packages name as layer. See, this is layer. I have selected this. Now next, finish. So I have updated my model parameters. Earlier I have defined my model as a new one in which I was not using any of the existing objects of reference packages. Now in between I got the requirement that I have to use the base objects, base EDT. So the reference packages was name was ledger. So this I have used in my existing model. Now let's see if I am able to drag and drop this. So account category, I will take this. See, now I am able to use this. So this is the concept of model. This is the all about model management. Next thing comes deleting your model. So it's very easy actually. So before deleting, you have to stop the following services like AOS web service and batch management services. So if you go here and see AOS service, first you need to stop AOS service from IAS and batch management services from services. Go to package local directory d365 training, right click it and delete. So this is the concept of model management. What is model, what is package, how to create and update and delete models. So friends, let me summarize this. We started with model. We know now how to create it, update it and delete it. Then we created one project and assigned this model. Then we created one object. Now if in our object, if we have to refer some objects from the base models, then we can update our existing model. How to update it, this I have demonstrated. So we know how to create, update and delete. Now if we have to deploy these objects, this project from one environment to another, then we have to create a package. So this package, model, projects, objects, this is the complete model management cycle. This we have seen today. So our model management is completed. So friends, this is all about model management. Stay connected. If you have not subscribed this channel, please subscribe it. Share your queries. I would be very happy to answer your queries. See you all in my next video. Thank you. Enjoy. Hello friends, today we'll be having a very important and conceptual session on data types. What are data types? How many types? How to use and define them in our program? Let's have a look. So data types, they are the attribute of data. They tells the compiler or the programmer how we are intend to use the data, means what type of data we want to insert in our variable. Now how to define it? We define it by the values it can take. Let's say if you have to store integer in some variable and have to do some calculation, so we will use integer data type. Similarly, if we need some string, then we have to use the string data type. Similarly, there are real, float, string. So based on this definition, we have around 4 categories of data types like primitive data type, composite data type, extended data type and collection classes. Let's have a look on these types. The primitive data type in Dynamics 365 are anytype, boolean, date, enum, GUID, integer, real, string, UTC date time, time of day. Let us see in the system. So let me open this table which we created in our last class, pp underscore test table. If I click on fields, let me add one field. So when you right click it in new, you can see all the data types that I can use to create any field. So I have string, integer, real, date, time, UTC date time, enum, container. This container, this is composite data type that we will come later on this topic, container, GUID int64. So these are the data types available in X++. Let me create a runnable class that is also known as job to execute or to explain this concept. So I will create one job, add new item, code. See, this runnable class, it's not job. I will name it as pp score type. let me declare the. So to declare any integer, my syntax is int. I need to store integer value in employee id. So I will create one variable, another, let's say I have to store name. So for name I can use string empl name. Then what we can take salary. So salary is the real, so we have to use the real type of data type, real salary. To assign value empl id. So this integer type, you can see we have defined it, this variable as a integer, so we have to assign integer value 1. Employee name is string type. So for string we have to use this double column Charlie and salary is real. Any amount we can write, let's say 4,000. So if you want to print it, for print the command is info. Now so in our variable we have integer also, we have real type also, then we have to use strfmt syntax. String format we have to convert it as we want it to get printed in our screen. First I want to print this, I can add the sequence. %3. So the first I want to print is, that is employee ID. Second I want to print employee name. Third I want to print salary. So we declared this variable, first is integer type, another is string, then real. So all these three are primitive data type. We have assigned the value, this is integer type, this is string, this is real. Now we want to print it, so for print the command is info, and we have to use strfmt because we have integer also and real also. So we have to first convert into the string format. That's why we have used this strfmt command. Now to execute this, we have to set this as a startup project. So in the job we have to right click and we have to set as startup project. Let me start this project to see our desired result. See, now we got the desired result. This is the employee ID, this is the employee name Charlie, this is the salary. Now it's printed on the screen. So by this way you can define the data type, assign the value and print it on the screen. Now if there are 3 employees, then in that case if we use primitive data type, we need to define variables multiple times, like for first employee integer employee id1, for another then again we have to declare integer employee id2. Like that we have to declare multiple times the same variable because number of employees are more. So in order to ease this, we can use composite data types, for example array, containers. So what is an array? An array is a variable that contains a list of items that have the same data type. We'll see this in the system. First I will comment this code. So I will write for array. So you declare it id. Let's say there are 3 employees. So we can write this, that the elements of an array, these are accessed by using integer indexes. Right now I am declaring it. So this array is of type integer, is employee id. Now another is string. Now to assign value. So now we have to give the integer index. So first employee, the id is 10001. Two. Here's the last one. Now we have to define for name also. Name of the first employee is, we use the same Charlie. Let's say Nancy. MPL name. John. Let us assign value in salary variable also. The salary of the first employee is 4,000. Salary of second is 3,000. Salary of third is 2,000. Now to get this printed on the screen, I can use for loop. As I told you, the elements of the array are accessed by using integer indexes. I can declare one variable, integer type I, for I equal to 1. As we have 3 employees, so I will start from first employee, it will go till third. what I want to get printed is, I will write here the same info. I can use the same code. See, only in this case you have to write indexes I. Let me build this. Semicolon expected. Okay, here we will not close this. It's done. Again I will build it. So now this is ready. So let me start this. Build is in process. Build is done. So we are getting some best practices error, that we will see what are the best practices while writing the program. Let me start this. See, now here you can see we got our desired result. Employee 1 name Charlie, this is the salary. Employee 2 name, salary. Employee 3 name and salary. If I would have used the container, it is more easy compared to array and primitive data types. Primitive data types we have seen the example here, like we have declared int, string, real, and also it is more useful than array also. Container, we can see in container object is a dynamic list of items that contains primitive data types also and composite data types also. So you can pass the same data type in, and also you can pass multiple data types. We will see here. Let me comment this first. Take this. Now container, what you can do, you can write container employee ID. Right now we are not defining any type of data we want to insert. We are just defining container. In runtime we can assign different data types in these variables. So this we have declared, this is container. We can assign value also. Int I also. So in one line we can assign multiple values. This is type string, so we will pass string. See, another John. So let us assign value in salary. Take 4,000. We can use the same for loop. only difference here is that instead here you have to use to get the value from container, the method is config. Employee ID, right. Config employee name. So by this way you can use the container. I will build it. Some bracket expected, will place one bracket, again I will build it. I will start this project to see the desired results. See, now our results is printed on the screen. Employee name, salary, this employee 2, name in salary. So how easy it is to use the containers. For now in this example I have shown only same type of data types in one container. So in one container variable you can pass multiple data types also. So we have seen primitive data types, composite data types. In composite data types we have seen array, we have seen the example of containers also, how to use containers. Now if you have to use object, if you want to store objects, then there are concept of collection classes. They let you create list, sets, map, structs that can hold any type of data, even objects. So these collection classes previously known as foundation classes. So we have right now in the dynamic structure list, map, set, you can create set, struct. So now comes to the important data types, that is extended data type, and also there is one more data type we have not covered till yet, that is primitive data type, that is enum. Enum is a primitive data type that we will see, because these data types enum and edt we are going to use very frequently while development. So let us understand these types. Enums. So enums, it is a enumerable data type which is list of literals. So to define a fixed set of values we use enum. Let us create the enum. We'll go to the data dictionary, add new item. How to create enum we will see. Data types, base enum. So this is used when we want to create a fixed set of values relation. Okay, we will label it as relation. Now the elements, the literals in the enum are called elements. Now we have to create new elements. A new element, base number we will name it as, let's say, child. again new element, spouse, and spouse. So this first also we will name it. There are two things, one is name, one is label. In name we will also write child. Name we refer in our program, so naming of this name is very important. Label is just to display what you want to display in your forms. Name we refer in our programs. We can create one more elements, one more literal in this enum. We can name it as parent. Label also parent. So we have created one enum named as relation. In this we have fixed set of literals, fixed element, fixed set of values, that is child, spouse and parent. So this is the type of enum and this is primitive data type. Like gender, male, female, this is also a fixed set of values. So like this we create enum. And by default elements like we have seen child, spouse, parent, they take values in order in which they are created. So first we created child, the first element has the value 0, the second element has the value 1 and so on. So we can declare up to 251 literals in a single enum type. So 0 to 250 we can define the elements in this. So in the program, if I have to use any enum, how to do it? Just I will show you an example. Like gender is also an enum. Gender, you can just try the scope resolution operator. You can see the elements. Like this, you can use your enums in your program. Now we will come to the extended data type. So extended data type, I will close this. Now comes extended data types. What are extended data types? Extended data types are user defined data types. These data types we define and these are based on primitive data types and on the container composite type. So basically we define our own data type by using primitive data type or a container data type. And what we do, we assign a supplementary name and additional properties. Let us create a ADT. So to create a ADT, now this data type we are defining ourselves and by using primitive data type. So let's create that ADT. In this data type we will select integer. Let's create employee ID. And employee ID is an integer, like we have seen in our last example in primitive data type. We have declared int employee ID. So right now we are creating our own data type as empl ID. This is based on integer, so I'll select empl ID and so now this is created employee ID. Now what I will do here, I will give the supplementary name. I have given employee ID, also I can write the label empl ID. See now how easy to read code. Instead of writing int, we can use this ADT. So it is very easy to read. So that is the first advantage of using ADT. So now we can use this ADT anywhere in our programs. So last we declared int, then variable name. What we can do from now, if we have already created our own data type employee ID, now we can use the same data type across all our programs. So advantages are code is easier to read because variables have a meaningful data type. For example, now data type is employee ID instead of int. Let me create one more ADT. That is the employee birth date. So what we can do, if we can use primitive data, we can directly write date, then we can give the name of the variable birth date. But instead using that primitive data type, what we are doing now, we are creating our own extended data type. That is, we will name it as EMPL birth date. So what type of we have to take EDT date. So this is the extended data type. This is the user defined data type based on date primitive data type, and the name we are giving it EMPL birth date. Birth date. See how easy to create it, and it is very easy to read code if you use the EDT. Instead of reading the variables, instead of int, I have created employee ID. Instead of date, I have created EMPL birth date. Now I can use this EDT wherever I need to use this in my program. So let me create one more EDT that maybe we need in our program that we are going to write in our next class. That is the pay elements. What is pay element? So that EDT, let me create the pay element for edit. Pay elements are nothing but they are various components of a pay structure, like combination the total of which forms the salary. For example, like basic, we have basic, HRA, travel allowance. These all are my pay elements, combination of which is my salary. So let me create that EDT pay element, and in that EDT I am going to use while creating the tables for salary in my next class. So I want to create that EDT now only. So what is the objective of this EDT? We are going to store the pay elements. So pay elements, the structure is like basic, HRA, travels, allowance, all these are string type. So I have to use EDT of string. So what is the name? Pay elements. It's very easy to create. You can name it pay elements. I can increase the string size 20. Now wherever I will use this pay element, I'll get the string size of 20. So I have done the standardization of date data type. Date is the primitive data type. I have created my own defined like user defined data type. That is the pay element. So this is the concept of extended data type. So to summarize, EDT are standard data types, but they have specific name and additional properties. Treatment for EDT is same as of standard data type. They undergo the same value and type conversion. Right? So we completed data type session. You practice it, do some hands-on. See you all in my next video. Thank you. Hello friends, till now we have covered model management, data types, especially EDT and enums. I hope you are going with me. As I told you earlier also, this course is designed for the freshers who want to build their career in Dynamics 365 technical, or the entry level technical trainees who have just begun their career in Dynamics 365. So if you know someone in your contact, please do share it with them. This is going to help them out. So today we are going to see creation of tables. So today we are going to create these four tables. All these four tables are employee related tables. So let us first understand the table structure before creating them. So I have already mentioned the table structure in this Excel file. So this is the first table. This is the employee table where we will capture all the employee related data like employee ID, name, date of birth, gender, joining date. So the structure will be like the data type is of type EDT. Now you all know data type EDT enum. In our previous class we have already discussed this in detail, so you can refer that class if you missed it. So now we will study this the table structure. Like this, I will create the 5 fields in this table, that is the employee table, and I have mentioned the data type of type and what is the name of that EDT or enum which we are going to use. The second table is employee family details. In this table, we will capture all his family information, like his relation with that family member, name, gender, birth date. The next table comes is the pay element table. Now, what is the pay element? Actually, pay elements are various components of a pay structure. Total of all these pay elements forms the salary, like basic, HRA, travel allowance. You all know all are these pay elements. Combination of which is the salary. So in this table we will capture the pay element ID and the description. After this is the employee salary table. In this table we will create the employee and the employee related table. So we will create the relation. So first we will create the table, then we will see the index, relation and table properties. So today we are going to create these four tables. Let us start creating them. I will open the studio. Before creating them in the system, let me organize these objects based on the element type so that it will look good. So all the ADT which we created in our last class, I will create one group. ADT. We created one NM also. I will create one group. See, after organizing these objects based on element type, it is looking good. Now ADT num. Let me set this property by default. This I have that property option. If you go projects, see organize object projects by element type. So if I create any objects now, automatically system will create one folder for this. Okay, so now I have to create one table, add new item, table. Let me see my table structure. I have to create pp underscore ampl table, and I have to create these 5 fields. Let me name this see. Now you can see system has created this folder tables automatically, and this object is residing underneath this element type. So now we have to create fields for this table. Now we know the structure of this table is employee ID, name, birth date, gender and joining date. These 5 fields we have to create. We know that first is EDT, this enum and EDT. So we have to create these 5 fields. Employee ID, we know we already created EDT for that. So I will just drag this and drop the field section. It's created. Second is the name is string type EDT. This I will take standard from data types. Name, I will try this. So I have used the standard data type name. The third field is birth date. Last class we created this EDT. I will drag this, drop this. Now fourth is gender, that is the type enum, and the joining date is JMG date. For enum we created, gender is standard we have to take. So base enums, I am going to use the standard enum gender. The last one was joining date. So joining date is the type EDT. So again this is the standard EDT, not customized one. So I will go the standard JMG date. See, this is JMG date. I will drag this, I will drop this. See, now system gave us one error. Why? Because in our model management class, what we did is that we created one model in which we have used application platform, and this is our customized. We have not selected application suite in our model parameters. So what we have to do, we have to update our model parameters to use this object. So what we will do, we will go here, model management, we will update our model parameters. So this is the revision of our model management class. So we will select our model which we created, d365 training. Next, see, we selected only application platform. Now this object gmg that you can see here, it's reside in model application suite. So we will select this also. Next, finish. Now once it's updated, we can use this object in our project. Done. Now we will drag this and we will use here. See, now our table is created. We have used these 5 fields. We can name also. This table. Rest of the properties we will see in the next class. Today we are going to see only the table creation. I am giving the label employee name. Birth date, gender, joining date. Let us build it to see if there are any error. So build is successful. Our table is created. Now there are another way also creating the fields. Right now we have seen by dragging and dropping our existing edts and enums in our field section. Also you can create directly, right click new, so we can select here primitive data types whatever we want, and we have this composite also container. So if you want string type, you can add here like string will be created. You can label it whatever you want, you can name it, and if you want to delete it, we can just right click and delete. So it's very easy to create the table structure. So let me create another tables also. We have to create 4 tables. Another is employee family details. So like we have created the employee table, we have to create all these tables. Let me create all these tables for you quickly. pp underscore employee family table. Employee ID, relation, name, gender and birth date, same thing. Relation, 11. Name. next table is add. Final table is employee salary table. So I have created all these four tables. Let me build it. So we have created all these four tables. You can see here in our table section: employee table, employee family table, pay element table, and salary table, which we have discussed. So all these four tables are created now. Now we will see table properties which are relevant and basic in nature.